So Nancy, in 1992 you won an Emmy for Outstanding Voiceover Performance for The Simpsons. Do you remember that episode, Separate Vocations, at all? And do you remember how you found out that you were nominated?
I remember finding out that we were going to get the Emmy, and it had never been done before. Voice actors had never received, even Dawes Butler and Mel Blanc, those guys had never gotten Emmys. They got a Grammy. They got Grammys for, I think, it was like St. George's Dragon. It was some Christmas album that they did in the 60s, I believe. But anyway, yeah, I heard that it was a juried award, and it was the Board of Governors that decided that they could give out either 0 or as many as 6 Emmys. And they gave out 6, and they all went to actors on The Simpsons.
Did you attend the Emmys that year? Did you?
You know what? I did. I absolutely did. But it wasn't the red carpet, Sunday night, bells and whistles and paparazzi. And this is one of those things where I'm going, dang it, I wish that would be so cool. They get big baskets, they get like trips, they get all the fun stuff, the gowns, and they get to wear $1 million jewelry and stuff like that. We get invited to the Craft Awards, which is like the week before on a Saturday night. There's no paparazzi, no gift basket, but the trophy's the same. That's very cool.
What do you think has been the cultural impact of The Simpsons?
Gosh, cultural impact. Well, we're icons, man. We've helped. I think we've sort of led the way in terms of establishing, I guess, a viewpoint of our society. It's probably a little bit arguable which comes first.
In terms of the show's perception overseas, for example, it's so popular in so many different countries. Do you think that it's something that translates about what there is to say about American culture?
Oh, I think
it's universal?
I think they totally laugh at us. I think that it is the one show that a lot of shows I think that they see, I think it paints kind of an idealistic picture of the way America is. But when The Simpsons came out, it was such a shock to the public and culturally that people just go, oh, yes, look at them. They're fools. They're idiots. They're boobs, especially the guys on the show. I think because we can make fun of ourselves, I think that's another reason why we're so successful. And internationally, are you kidding? We're in like 60 countries throughout the world in all these different languages. There's nothing quite like it.
Have you ever seen Bart be ad-libbed by in another language?
No. I think when we were in Montreal, I met the Japanese fellow who does Homer, but I've never met any of the Barts. But from what I know is that they're all women that are doing Bart, which is kind of interesting.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's something about, I don't know, the female anatomy in this location here somehow that makes it sound like a boy, 10-year-old boy.
To you, what's been the best part of being on The Simpsons?
Probably the freedom that I have to pursue other avenues of my own interests, because it takes so little time that to me it's such a it's a priceless kind of a benefit that we all have. We can all have other careers or pursue. For me, it's like being able to really be a mom and be more involved in bringing up my kids. Whereas if it were a feature film career or an on-camera sitcom career, television, another on-camera career, I think it'd be way more challenging because of the hours, but it doesn't take very long to do what it is that we do. I think in the production lineup, doing the voices takes the least amount of time.
I just want to get a brief description from you about some of your co-stars and what it's like to work with them and what you think they've brought to the show. So we'll start with Julie Kavner.
Julie Well, she brought with her just such credibility, and I love working with Julie. She's so easygoing and a total professional. She, more than anyone I think on the show, will question, when we get the rewrite, she will question and say, I kind of liked it better what you were doing before. It really helps to establish, she really speaks her mind. But she does it in a way that she doesn't make the recipient of that feel bad. She does it in a way she's very supportive of the show. And I think Julie's probably been late maybe one time, and I think it was because her cat was out in the rain and she couldn't bring her cat in or something, but she's very dedicated and loyal and just lovely to work with.
Yardley Smith.
Yardley, my baby sister. I love Yardle. I call her Yardle Maker. Yardley, I think Yardley, she has brought an intelligence and a smartness, I think, to Lisa Simpson that is quintessential Yardley. Whoever would be cast in that part will bring their own personality and drive to it, but Yardley has this incredible ability, even though she's a grown woman, to create the essence of an 8-year-old girl, but you somehow think that she's an adult in this little girl body. And you have such respect for that character.
Dan Castellaneta.
Dan, to me, is not unlike Superman, where he is kind of mild-mannered as Clark Kent, but when he gets behind the microphone, the guy just becomes amazing. He's so funny, and his character lends itself to the fact that he can just do so many ad-libs, and he gets these great monologues, and it takes all of our willpower not to laugh when Dan is doing this because he's so brilliant at what he does. I think Dan is in almost every single scene of every show, whether it's being Homer or some other character that he does, and that amazes me. I have always admired Dan from the second that I met him, because he has just such great ability to take nothing and then create something out of it that makes you laugh. And I don't know, and his characters are also very grounded. They just seem very real.
Harry Shearer.
Harry, when we have the fortune of working with him, he shows up, and I think Harry does more voices than anybody that does on the show. And it amazes me that he's so versatile. I mean, all the guys are like that. I think they do 15, 20 voices each, the men on the show. Harry has his own... He has his own whole other kind of career that he does with his radio, and he's an amazing musician. He's extremely talented, and it's been quite a journey working with him and seeing what else can he do.
Hank Azaria.
Hank is hilarious, and when he and Dan get to riff between the two of them, get to banter back and forth, oh my God, we're so lucky that I feel so lucky to be able to be in the same room and watch them do it. And Hank his mic is directly across from me, so I get a perfect shot at seeing this guy perform. And he's so funny, and he changes up every single time. He does make it different, so he gives options to the director and the editor to decide which take to do. And he continually surprises me because he ad-libs a lot. And I think that's such a gift. So in his career, it also doesn't surprise me that he took off the way he did. It's been really fun working with him and seeing him start from really Herman's Head, that he and Yardley worked on Herman's Head together, and since then his on-camera career is just totally taken off, and he's directed things and he's written things, and yeah, to be a part of that, it's kind of fun.
Now, after doing this role for almost 24 years now, how long do you think you can continue to do this without getting sick of these characters?
Oh, I will never get sick of them. No, because it's been established already that the quality of the show, it's a certain quality, and that's the way it's going to stay, and I don't have any doubt that it'll remain that way. I think the only thing that would stop it is if the ratings go bad, but I don't know that that's going to happen, or if there's like some freaky accident or something. If anybody were missing from the cast, I don't know that it would work. Everyone it's integral. Mm-hmm. And as an ensemble, we have to have all the players there. You couldn't replace Dan. You couldn't replace Hank. You couldn't replace any of us, So I think that's great. I love that.
Do you think The Simpsons has influenced television comedies just as a whole?
Oh, absolutely. It totally has, because look at even now, even the past couple of years, there's more sitcoms now than, it's sort of like it's waned a little bit, but now it's come back in, and you see these other dysfunctional families on television. Modern Family, look at that. I wonder if The Simpsons had some influence on that. I think it has. We were the first ones to do it, We really, when Matt came up with the concept and kind of taking that 50s, the shows that were on the black and white television shows that were about families back then, from Dennis the Menace to Father Knows Best and Donna Reed. Those shows were these perfect families, and nobody's perfect. It was so brilliant.
What would you say is the legacy of The Simpsons?
Well, we established ourselves as the leaders in terms of like setting a precedence for certain viewpoints that are in our culture. There's a body of work there that when you look at it from the very beginning and look at the timeline of the shows that we've done, there isn't anything else that compares to what we've done. And the fact that it's animation, we can go forward in time, we can go backward in time. Time is just it's a consideration with The Simpsons. Even though Bart has remained 10 and the family has remained intact, nobody seems to age, but we do age, and we go even prehistoric time, The legacy is the body of work itself, to me. I had the privilege of like stepping into somebody's shoes for Rugrats, and actually I had a blast on Rugrats. And you had asked me earlier how The Simpsons has affected other television.
Yeah.
I think the smartness of the writing has influenced other even animated shows. I think Rugrats, Paul Germain also was involved with Rugrats, which is kind of interesting, and I was pulled in kind of late on that show, filling in for a gal that was no longer working with the show. And I had the privilege of doing Chucky, and he is just he's adorable, and I love Chucky. I love his voice, and the public seems to really have a fondness for him too. So that's been a pleasure working on him and a couple of the movies that they did too. Did some other Disney things, and they're popular with the kids. Not in production anymore, but I did this one show. I was Rufus the Naked Mole Rat.
Kim Possible?
Yeah, on Kim Possible. And he didn't even really talk that much, but they did separate records for me. I think it's because I spit when I do it, That was fun.
Has there been a difference for you, or do you prefer one or the other, doing these shows that are geared towards kids versus The Simpsons, which is geared towards adults?
No, I don't have, it's neither way. And I've done, I did another show called God, the Devil, and Bob. It was a Carsey Werner production, and that was a great show. That one didn't survive. It didn't survive the critics. They pulled it off the air. I guess some advertisers, they banned it because I think they had God sort of looked like Jerry Garcia. And for some reason, that was not appreciated by the Bible Belt. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny.
So, well, now skipping forward now to more personal topic, your charity work. If you could talk a bit about that, and what are the charities that you're most passionate about?
Sure. I support a number of charities, including the Make-A-Wish Foundation and Famous Phone Friends, and I have my own nonprofit called Happy House, and we have a program that's put into like after-school programs, like Boys and Girls Clubs, or for me locally, my local Police Activities League supporters. It's a after-school youth program, and our program itself teaches kids. It gives them certain precepts, and it's a whole there's a whole lesson plan on, like, it's a character building program. So they learn about, do not steal, or don't do anything illegal. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. Set a good example. Improve the environment. Things like common sense guideline for better living, and it's become very, very successful. And we've got about 9 chapters throughout California right now. It's in South Africa. We've got it in Minnesota, in Seattle, Washington, and you can find out more about it if you go to goodchoicesprograms.org.
To someone aspiring to become a voiceover actor or follow in your footsteps in any way, what advice would you give them?
Well, there's a lot. They can take classes. They should definitely take classes, and just know that on one hand, it is highly, highly competitive, and on the other hand, there's always room for somebody new to come in and, contribute to this industry. They're always looking for somebody new, a fresh face, a fresh voice. So they should watch television, they should listen to the radio, they should try to mimic, they can copy, they can practice in the privacy of their home, but take classes and get yourself in a competitive environment so that you can perfect your skill, become versatile, practice dialogue and dialects and accents and all that. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and I think it's just growing even more.
Okay, one last question that we ask all of our interviewees. How do you, Nancy Cartwright, want to be remembered?
Probably I just want to be remembered for somebody that, it's like what I'd said before, if in what it is that I'm doing as an artist can make your life a little bit better, then I feel like I've done my job.
I think mission accomplished. Nancy, thank you so much for spending so much time with us today. It was a real pleasure.
Me too.